Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Compact Everyday Carry and Gadgets. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Xegis safe. Now, this was sent over to me by Xegis. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Excuse me if I'm wrong. But I received this gun safe and I was excited to receive it because they are claiming a lot of cool tech into this package. First of its kind, according to them. I will have to do my research and confirm. But so far, so good. Now, I know a lot of us always run the fear of having our firearm in a safe and then maybe fumbling or not getting to it quick enough in the case of an emergency. But a lot of you guys, like me, have kids and just don't feel 100% right leaving a gun, even if it's in a nightstand or inside of a nightstand. Having kids around, even though everyone's asleep, I don't know, in the back of your head, you always have that fear of a gun being easily accessible with kids around. So that's why safes like these are really game changer, especially if they claim the speeds that they claim on their description to be able to get in here fast. Now, they do claim to be faster than the traditional fingerprint or just a keypad lock safe. So you should be able to get in here way faster because they are the world's first palm vein biometric gun safe. So what they do is they scan the veins in the palm of your hands. So all you got to do is kind of pass your hands over the sensor and the safe should open up. And they also claim it should open up way faster than a traditional fingerprint or keypad kind of safe. The cool thing is also you could access your safe even in dark conditions. Regardless of how dark the room is, you should still be able to scan your veins with this safe and access your firearm. So that is super cool. Let's just go in. The setting up process was pretty sweet, pretty straightforward as well, very easy. But aside from that, it also comes with spare keys. So if you ever, for whatever reason, the safe doesn't want to open up through the vein or the battery dies, you do have a spare key, so you can still access your firearm or whatever you want to keep in the safe itself. Right off rip, just first impressions and unboxing, the safe has a nice clean look. It is a little lighter than what I thought it would be. So I guess they're using very thin metals. It's constructed from aircraft grade alloy steel, but it is a little lighter than I would have liked to see in something like this. But nonetheless, has a nice clean look. As you can see right here, it has super cool features, very advanced features for what you get. I feel like they give you a little more than what we would even ask for, which is a plus if you ask me. Right here you have humidity levels, which is very important. You don't want to store your firearm or even documents in a place that has humidity, because that would cause corrosion or rust. And it also has a temperature setting, so you get to see the temperature. And of course, obviously right here you see the battery levels, which is always a plus because this does charge via USB-C, so you don't got to worry about not having batteries at the moment or whatever the case is. As long as you monitor your battery levels, you should never run out of batteries on this bad boy. And then right here up here is where you see the sensor for the palm reading sensor. And right here you have a little number pad where you can enter a manual combination like that. And of course you got the OK button to open it once you enter your password. Now let's turn this around just to see what we get underneath. So underneath we get 4 little holes to pass some screws so that you could lock this into place, which is what I would be doing when I set this up somewhere in my house where I want to have it in a safe place. I will be mounting it and anchoring it down with 4 screws to keep it in place. Because from the feel of the material itself, I do feel if somebody wants to pry this open, I believe they'll be able to pry it open. But this is to keep everyone in your house safe. And if somebody were to get into your house and break in, they're not going to be able to access the safe while being in your house. They would have to yank it out and pry it somewhere else, wherever they go after the robbery. So that being said, as far as it being safe in your house, I think this is more than sufficient and pretty cool. So let's just read a little bit. Let me show you guys, I guess. I already entered my palm. I already scanned my palm veins. So I should be able to access this pretty quickly. Let's do a few runs, a few tests, so you guys can see how fast it is. And I am in a confined environment, so lighting isn't the best here. So it's kind of a good example. And I'll also do another test where I turn off the light, so you guys could check that out for yourselves. But let's just do a few test runs and see how accurate and how fast this safe is. Okay. Okay. And right there, I'm just, my palms of my hands are probably 4 to 5 inches from the safe itself. So that's pretty cool. Let's do another one of that. Okay. And one last one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to turn off the light in here. So I'm going to shut off the light and then we'll try it out with the lights completely shut. Okay, that opened. Another one. That opened. And last but not least, yep. So as you guys can see, not having no light does not affect the safe itself from operating, which is super cool. Now let's just look at the space. I'm gonna put some firearms in here so we get an idea of what will fit in the safe. Give me 1 second while I access my firearms. Let me get 2 very popular handguns because a lot of you guys have these, so I think it'll be the perfect example so you guys could more or less get the scales of what it is. So this is the Canik Mete MC9 Prime with a red dot in there. Let's try it out with the Glock 43X MOS, also fully decked out with a huge sight on top. Let's see how that goes. And that fits pretty good, so that's actually pretty cool. Now it closes good. There's no obstruction when closing the lid, and very quick I'll be able to access my firearms. That is pretty sweet. So as you guys can see, that was pretty good. So now we're going to take it on to the next level. I want to compare this to another safe, a more traditional safe, which is like a fingerprint style safe, to see how fast or how much faster or how much slower it would be comparing it to a more traditional safe. The cool thing is, you know, if you have a fingerprint safe, if you have your fingerprints, whatever, you work a hard and labor intensive type job, which I had, sometimes I'll have trouble opening my fingerprint safe. Sometimes I wouldn't want to scan my fingerprint as quick as I would have liked. So with this palm vein technology, those problems should be alleviated. They should be gone. They should not exist at all. So that's a plus. They also say that your hands could be a little dirty and still be able to open the safe with your veins. Now, as far as privacy and security, your palm vein will get stored locally to the safe itself. It is not sent over up to no iCloud or cloud of any sort. So rest assured of that. Okay, so here we're going to be trying out my Aniro gun safe, which works with fingerprints and a keypad. And here on the left, we have the Xegis palm vein reader. So let's just test out a few times, see how fast the Aniro opens up with the fingerprint. So pretty standard times. Of course, you would love it to be a little faster, but still pretty standard times. As you see right here, I got a fail, but it opened up. So I had like 4 tries and 1 fail already. Right here we have another fail, and here we opened it up. So it still opens up at a pretty good speed, but of course you want 0 mistakes, 0 malfunctions. You want that thing to open as soon as you need it. And right here you see again a few tries and didn't open. And let's try out now the Xegis. Xegis is opening up. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. So yeah, Xegis, man, so far they seem very reliable, and the technology with the whole palm vein reading sensor has been really good. Here with the Aniro, I still do get a few fails, but still not horrible either. But of course, like I said, in the case of an emergency, and if you're fumbling and the adrenaline is rushing through your blood, you're not gonna want to be fumbling because it's already gonna make you maybe be a little clumsy. But with the Xegis, it opens up pretty darn fast and 0 fails yet. So that's pretty darn cool. As far as size goes, they're pretty much same in size. Now the Aniro does have somewhat of a more better build quality. It feels a little more tougher. It feels heavier. It's a heavier, thicker metal, where the Xegis is a little lighter. But like I said, this isn't something that you're expecting no one to be able to get into if they steal it and yank it out of your house. Now overall, guys, I think this is super cool product. I love the tech that it has. I think it's pushing things forward in the gun safe world. So I'm going to leave links down in the description if you guys want to check it out further. Shout out to Xegis for sending this out. So far so good if you ask me.